Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. So here we are, yet another edition of There's Not a Lot of Bitcoin Left Out There. If you've been following the channel for the last like 2 or 3 years, it's a segment that we have here that pops up every like week or two because rich people are buying up all the Bitcoin. Very important to note. There are multiple different companies on the planet, if not dozens of companies who are buying up tons of Bitcoin. However, within the cryptocurrency space, many of them like to be a little hush-hush, and only a few of them have actually come out openly to tell us how much Bitcoin that they have. We have seen the statistics over the course of this year as well, as everyone's gearing up for the Bitcoin halving, as to how many people are actually holding an entire Bitcoin. It is now believed that 92 point something percent, is nearly 93%. Think of this. 93% of all the Bitcoin out there is being held by whales, basically. Anyone who owns or is lucky enough to actually own more than one Bitcoin. The amount of people who have more than 100 Bitcoin are holding around 80% something of the actual entirety of all the Bitcoin that there is out there. And there's more being bought up every single day. The really big number, and this is to put things into perspective for a lot of you. I'll give you the news and then I'll give you the actual number. So we've heard of the company MicroStrategy. They're prominently in the news all the time. They're famous for not only having an egregious amount of Bitcoin, but also because they've constantly put themselves in debt for this Bitcoin. They became more popular around 2 years ago, where they, I think, took out $500 million worth of debt to actually buy up Bitcoin. And they seemingly do this every time that Bitcoin's about to rise in price. And then they end up back in the news saying, hey, you know, we made all of our money back, and they paid off some of their debts and yada yada. So they're very popular for basically absorbing all the Bitcoin that there is out there in the world. They recently again just re-announced, because I think they also bought some Bitcoin like 4 or 5 weeks ago. They re-bought some brand new Bitcoin, but this time it's not a lot as much as they normally do. So MicroStrategy is known for buying like 6,000 Bitcoin, 14,000 Bitcoin at one time, mega huge numbers. This time they only purchased 155 Bitcoin for $5.3 million. And this is where the numbers actually come in and why I want you to have this context. I know I've said it before. I'll keep saying it again, because Bitcoin is for you. Bitcoin is for the people. Bitcoin is for everyone else in the world, and not just necessarily the millionaires and billionaires. If Bitcoin, here we go, was evenly distributed amongst everyone on the planet, everyone would be able to have 0.003 Bitcoin. 0.003 Bitcoin. Just with this purchase by MicroStrategy, there are now 38,000 people on the planet who will never be able to have their 0.003 Bitcoin from that one purchase of 155 Bitcoin. Think of how absolutely insane that is. And now for extra context, MicroStrategy is believed to own currently, I think, around 144,000 Bitcoin. Just one company. We are entering a very complex and weird future. I'm sure you've seen the news, I'm sure you've seen the economy, and I'm sure at some point, hopefully, you've also been paying attention to the news here as well about the banks and institutions and corporations and billionaires and millionaires and soon to be trillionaires who are buying up tons and tons and tons of crypto and tons and tons and tons of Bitcoin. I do personally believe that at some point, we are going to see a $500,000 Bitcoin. I think by the year 2032, the halving of the halving of the halving, 2032 is meant to be like the craziest, of course, halving up until that point, but it's also where We get a lot of those multi-million-dollar Bitcoin price predictions. The way that Bitcoin is being integrated into everything financially, and not even just the idea of an ETF, but every single aspect of finance that we're hearing about. I do personally believe that we are probably going to see a $1 to $10 million Bitcoin sometime within the next decade. This is a personal opinion from everything that we've been seeing. We are going to live in a world, we already do, but further live in a world where the division between the haves and have-nothings is going to be monstrously gigantic. I'm going like this with my hands, and I realized it was below the camera. You couldn't see that I was continuously moving my hands even further and further. It is going to get real very, very quick, and the only people who are going to be able to, and I don't want to use the word survive, that's a very strong word, who will be able to profit from all of this are the people who have investments and who have assets. And this division is getting stronger, and I think cryptocurrency is going to be like the gigantic rock in the middle of all of it that kind of pushes people. You either got something or you have absolutely nothing. 38,000 people on the planet from that one purchase will never be able to have their equal share of Bitcoin ever. Right. So the news is MicroStrategy, like they always do, continues to buy more Bitcoin. There are also tons of other people who are buying all the time as well. There are tons of listeners here who are always dollar cost averaging and buying up fragments of Bitcoin, or maybe you're lucky enough to buy an entire Bitcoin. But the world is changing rapidly around us, and I bring you this news because I want you to be abundantly aware of what's happening so that in the future, you had all this information for yourself. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. As always, the articles will be in the description below. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.